I'd like to call upon Carrie's higher self, please.
Yes, um,
Thank you so much. Are we able to do a body scan and see what's happening to her body?
yes, we can scan now, and she's doing well. She has a little bit of a pressure in her head, and we're going to help her release that. It's connected to a neck muscle that is also tense from her not being able to sleep very well at night. So we're going to go ahead and release that for her as well.
Thank you. Why is she not able to sleep very well at night?
She's feeling the changes in the environment around her, and she's feeling like there's some negativity being sent her way um, in her life. So she's feeling a little bit restless with her sleep.
Is she able to, well, actually, higher self, are you able to return that negative energy back to the sender with much love?
Yes, yes, we'll do that right now. And her jaw relaxed when we did that. So she's feeling the physical release right now.
Thank you so much. And moving forward, can we always keep her protected from energies that no longer serve her and do not, she does not deserve to feel that tension from those other people?
Yes, we can do that for her, and she knows how to do this herself when she feels it. And she can also, if she's feeling any of it creep up, she is able to protect herself. But we can do that and put that protective shield around her.
Thank you. And out of curiosity, why do people do this to others? What is happening there?
It when you go within self and you feel whole, and you're feeling the energies aligned, and like when you're meditating, or like even just connecting with the sun and getting those energies, you're actually not requiring extra energy. Your body's like sustaining itself. So when you send a negative attachment or a negative accord, you are not trusting and not aligning. And so you're needing to siphon that energy from someone else. You are needing to get that, like, fill, like if you're filling the gas tank up, you're needing to fill your gas tank with basically going in and putting a tube into somebody else's gas tank in order to do that, instead of knowing you have a direct connection to the source that will do that for you, where then you are overflowing and you're able then to project love and give that excess energy to others.
I see. So, what would you recommend to those people who are sending negativity?
To stop, to go within, to go connect with the sun, to ask your team where those blockages are, what you need to work on, and those answers will be provided. And we are wanting to connect. We are wanting to have that loving connection with you. We want to provide these tools for you, but it's just a matter of trusting that you will be provided those answers, and that it will only bounce back with a more positive, you know, more positive energy vibration back to yourself.
Yes, it seems like a lot of wasted energy sending hate to others when they could just use the energy to start empowering themselves.
Yes, it's very, very wasted energy. It's saying I can't do it myself.
Are these kind of people who we should be trying to support more because ultimately aren't they the type of people that are holding us back and delaying the shift?
Um, the boundaries is really important with this, and just like you asked us to protect Carrie from that happening, that you can create boundaries within your space, or whoever's needing this their space is holding back because it's not empowering the other person. The life contract that we are all unable to accountable to, and those that have done their inner work are now kind of taking the role of would be, the higher selves in wanting to hold people accountable to their inner work or to their contracts, because that is what is needed, and that is what this extra time is for, is to create that outcome and allow people to awaken. And it's been such a slow awakening that it's going to take the firm love that's been provided, by us in other sessions or by people who love you. Just because in history past that those lessons were provided in a negative way, like those encounters may have like told a story in the past, doesn't mean that the future and what is current right now will tell the same story. You have to, look at people where they're coming from. If they're coming from love, have they supported me? Have they loved me? Then why would they want to attack me now? And look at that, because a lot of the past stories you tell yourself predict how you victimize yourself to, or empower yourself to receive those loving messages.
Absolutely. Great information, and just information that you've already sort of shared with us in other sessions. It's just good to hear again that it's still the same. There's still the same outcomes and still the same responsibility of each individual person to go within and heal themselves.
Yes, I mean, you guys were just told how powerful you really are. Embrace that power. It's beautiful. Don't stop telling stories. Embrace the power, and your intuition will guide you to the truth.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we wish everyone well on their journey with their inner work. So, thank you very much. We were curious if the headache that Carrie was experiencing yesterday had any significant information you'd like us to know today.
Yes, the headache was actually she was tapping into the environment changes. She had felt like it might be an earthquake, but it's not. It's just the pressure changing and releasing of some of the energy, but it's not actually an earthquake. And she was tapping into her father who was coming home. That he has a tendency to project his emotions onto her. And she was already tapping into his drive home of what he was going to be like. So there were two different things going on, and she did make that connection later a little bit for her father.
And so, this is quite common for empathic people to sense other people's energies and demeanors and intentions and all that jazz.
Yes, it's very common, and when you're more physically related, like the close proximity to another being, it makes it so that you connect even like more, like she felt yesterday. But you can, through words or through any kind of energy messages, really tap in and feel that emotion where it takes on your space.
Yeah. So, oh, fun times. So, in terms of the new timeline, what differences will this now give Carrie's experience being in 3D?
So Carrie's experience in 3D, she will continue to, there will be the earthquakes here, that will be smaller. There will be like weather changes. We're showing like thunderstorms and like really gust winds. She is going to she's going to experience, there is going to be exposure of what has been going on in her government, as far as more of the telling of like what she calls bad actors, what they have done in the past, and some of the tribunals will be exposed, and there will also be what they call extraterrestrial disclosure, and there will be a false disclosure, and will also be a true disclosure.
Tell us about the false disclosure.
The false disclosure will be a distraction. It will be, uh, they will look like they're attacking us. Like it will look like there will not be a representative with the beings that are going to uh, be disclosing, like there what would be referred to as aliens, although we don't see it as alien. We're just going to use that to make it simpler for Carrie to explain it. So the aliens would not be have a representative with them. It would be a uh, showing of the like ships, and like they're going to attack us, but there will be no military representatives with the aliens.
Okay, and so then what will we be told, say, in mainstream media about that event?
They will hype it up. They will try to scare people, tell them to stay in their homes. They will, we're showing Florida. They're going to really hype up around Florida, of like there's going to be an attack on Florida.
Will it be an illusion of an attack or will it be a physical attack?
They have like replicated ships that they will use, and it will be like holographic. However, there will be no attack. It will the military will actually come, and that was when the military will bring disclosure, because they will come with the true beings, and they will actually shoot down the fake crafts.
Oh, it sounds so intriguing. And so the fake attack will then bring on the real, sorry, the fake disclosure will then prompt the real disclosure?
Yes, because they'll be like, hey, we've got these guys with us right now. Who do you have in those ships? And they will then try to engage through those ships. And the military will say that's false flag, and they will shoot them down.
Okay. So is this something that Carrie will get excited about knowing that she'll be able to experience this while she's still here since the shift has been delayed?
Yeah, she's really excited to see all this go down. She feels like, and she said this to you, that she doesn't want like the lights to go on when the movie's still 3/4 of the way played. And so she's excited to see it because it'll bring a finality to Earth. And it'll bring a finality to that show. And so it is exciting. It's really exciting, and to see how creative they can be, because some of it's just like the gag reels. Like we see a lot of stuff that's the gag reels going on right now. And we haven't even finished the movie. So she's just trying to like she's playing with a little and trying to predict the ending. But while not ruining it for others to a degree, because that's obnoxious.
Yes, we don't want obnoxious. We want entertainment factor only. But then on the other side of it, we have heard about since now the our 3D experiences has been extended out. Now we're going to have to see people who will be taking earlier exit points because of the inoculations. Is this going to impact and will Carrie experience that?
She will experience it, and we're showing her father most likely will be affected by that. And she's okay with that, and just knows that it's part of his contract. We're also disclosing to her that he is not going to New Earth. He is going to Source to heal for a while. But she will see and it's already starting to play out, with, of course, what the media is disclosing, or the sources that she's tapped into. But there will be quite a bit that are affected by this. And it's just for us to use less resources to then shift them, if they were here in body.
Okay, and so um, we must trust that this is part of his life contract to have this exit point.
Yes, yes. And we've been preparing her. She's very, she talks to us all the time, and she already asked that question. So we've already been preparing her, and she's very much about honoring and respecting it. And, she's, it's not going to be it's not going to lower her vibration.
Such a mature approach. And so, why now? Why, after all these months since he has been inoculated, why will this impact him and many others as we are now discovering in sessions?
Because he's had many opportunities to do some inner work and he's still holding on. And it would be too much of a shock to actually shift him in the capacity that he's at. And so he chose to, not the less of the evils Carrie wants to say as an example, but he chose to pass and to so that his system would be in less shock, transitioning, than to have a slower awakening. He's very impatient. He's like, okay, he's been a lot of dreams. So in his sleep state, he's been like having these conversations back and forth, and he's really been trying, but he's very impatient. He'd rather just get there. He doesn't want to wait for all this bullshit, he says. Like, he'd rather just get there.
I understand. So, even when he sees these disclosures, he still isn't going to awaken and empower himself and heal himself fast enough before the shift?
He's chosen not to.
Okay, okay. And we can respect that with much love. So, thank you for letting us know that. And so, for those people who will find themselves experiencing many exit points for those who have been inoculated, how will they be able to fathom why the delay from those who have had this months ago? Will they be able to understand the correlation? I'm just trying to figure out. Will media finally tell people the numbers of exit points, or how is this going to be disclosed?
So the military has actually encountered all of that data. So as it's being provided, and manipulated, they have actually the root source of the data, that exists. And so they are going to make that announcement. And that is part of the disclosure of the information that they will be providing. And so they actually know this number. It's the root number, and everything else like been played with, like on like the graphs and everything by other, uh corporation entities. And so they do have a good, there's something to do with, they can track they can track, even real time what's in the body. So it's showing me like something in the arm or something in the body that they're able to connect technology to, that actually gives them like vital signs or like biorhythms informations. So every person that has had a vaccination is hooked into this informational data bank, and they're able to get the information that way. And that is technology that the militaries, actually are the only ones that have, and the others are just like secondhand news.
Okay, that's very interesting. And so, in terms of people taking exit points because of these inoculations, is it going to just be over a few months, or is it going to be a shorter time frame? What can you tell us?
Well, it's going to be from now up until the med beds are put into place. And so the med beds will reverse the all of the inoculations that are holding some back from awakening. That's going to reverse all the effects of those inoculations.
I see. So
So
therefore,
until that's put into effect, we truly don't have a way to reverse that.
okay, so therefore, not everyone who has had the inoculations will be exiting because obviously, I'm assuming many who need to experience the old Earth potentially could have had this in them. Is that correct?
Correct. No, everybody is going to be passing from the inoculations. It will be the ones that chose that were that had a lot of the work to still do. They have made that choice to make a smoother transition. So we're showing Carrie like a lot of really like healthy people or people who are spiritually aligned. These inoculations really had no effect on them. It's the ones who had blockages within their like chakras or the physical ailments that were like secondary symptoms to the blockages and the like that energy can't flow through them, that those are the ones having the harder time like connecting to source and raising their vibration for the transition. So those are the ones that have met with their teams in their sleep state and have had the conversations of what the best route for them for the transition is.
Got it. Okay, thank you so much. And what else will Carrie be experiencing now since we've got this new extension?
Well, she will, we're showing, yeah, but you guys have already covered this. It's the power outages will be experienced. There will be no communication for a little bit of time. And she will, like, we're showing Carrie, there will be just some destruction to the land, like the mountains will around her will it's secondary to the earthquakes. They'll kind of crumble a little bit. Some of them will have destruction to them, and there will be financial reset.
So she will experience a bigger earthquake?
Those are the smaller ones that will cause some damage. She will, like, her exit point is before, like, she will exit before the big earthquake here, but the mountains around her will start to crumble. And then we're showing Carrie her with her children. She will not be in the same room with them, but we're showing her when she exits, they're almost like holding, like she's holding both of their hands. Like, we will make sure to connect that energy on the exit, but she will not be in the same area with them.
Okay. Oh, thank you. But I know it'll be important for her to hear that she will be close to them, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, thank you. And um, so because we've now got this extra, well, this new timeline, does that obviously mean that we have now had new life contracts drawn up?
Some have, yes.
Thank you.
Some with the timeline, some have had reevaluations of what is best for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I sort of feel like those who are still holding back and not processing and releasing and acknowledging their own inner work, I mean, at this point, you sort of feel concerned for them.
Yeah, they are. It's kind of like the expression, you can't get out of your own damn way. That's kind of what's happened. And so many people have used this shift as a lifeline instead of embracing these.
Just put yourself on pause. please get reconnected back to Carrie's manager or her higher self?
Yes, this is them.
I'm feeling so cheeky. Okay, so thank you so much for that. So I can't recall where we left off. Um, right, so new contracts, people need to still do their inner work. That's part of why we're still so slow in this shifting. What fun things can we know moving forward? How can Carrie be prepared? Would you like her to stock up on some food or anything if she's going to be without power?
She is already stocked up on food, but stocking up on food would be a good thing for all to do and be prepared. At least we're showing her 3 to 5 days worth of food, dry food. And this is a great opportunity for people to, get back to the basics of living and enjoy the wonderful silence that you all have forgotten that you guys go on vacation sometimes just to enjoy silence or just peace. And we will be providing that with the power outages. And we just want people to embrace that time to connect and to and don't like use this opportunity in your days to uh, say everything you want to say to those you love. Don't leave anything unfinished. This is a great, we were using the analogy of getting a terminal illness because we were like, when you are given a terminal illness, every day is a bonus day. And you seize those opportunities and embrace every day as if it's your last. And so this is a great opportunity to do that, all while, doing, honoring your contract.
We do love honoring our contracts, or we should. So, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, cool. And so, yeah, that makes total sense to use that time wisely. So, Carrie's going to be home with the kids. There will be no power, and then are we expecting she's going to be shifting from that point
It will be within a week.
of when the power cuts go down?
The power outage and the disclosures will be within the same time period and then a week.
I see. I see. Okay, so it's not going to be a shock and a surprise. It's going to be, all very obvious when it starts unfolding as it should, which feels very useful to have the information. So thank you. We were requested to ask about the global cyber attack. What can you tell us about that?
The global cyber attack, is that to the internet? Is that what it's in reference to?
Yes, in terms of, will that then trigger the Jasara Nasara financial resets?
The GESARA and NESARA financial resets will be triggered with the actual disclosure of, in the United States, the election. That will be what engages the NESARA GESARA, because there were documents signed while Trump was in office that have been extended that have already covered what Kerry is calling a coup of the government. And so it's not a cyber attack that will release that information. It's actually uh, the unveiling of the fraud.
I see. Well, this will all coincide with um, the power outages. Is that correct?
Yes, there will be information provided, and there will be information on the tribunals. However, it will be not all. It will be the key players. It will be just enough so that they can tell the story, but not enough to cause panic and chaos. So some of the key players that you're used to, like they're really bringing their names throughout the media right now because they want them fresh in the minds of the citizens of the world. And so when those are the ones they'll disclose as the tribunals, but they will not just like disclose like everyone's expecting probably for like even the all the actors and actresses in Hollywood, all of the like sub government officials and that like there's not enough time to go through that list. And so what will be disclosed will be the key players and it'll be just enough it'll be the balance of the information just enough to get an awakening without causing too much chaos.
So then a little bit of a awakening of information and disclosures, and then the power cuts.
Well, the power, yes, yes. So the power will be cut out. It will be cut out. No, no, we're showing Carrie the power out first. There'll be a couple of days and then there'll be a broadcast.
Oh,
So the power's not out for that long. Like we're showing Carrie like 2 days, the power's out. And then when they bring it back up, the broadcast will be online. Like will be on the TV.
oh wow. Okay. Oh, that's okay. Okay, now I get it. And then tell me about the Tesla energy. Where is that going to fit in, if at all?
That will be the up when we turn the power back on, it will be on that grid.
Oh, so it's going to be a fast turnover.
Yes, yes, that's what it's getting set up for, is for that transition.
Because I have heard people talking about power grids being worked on now. Can you tell me more about that?
The power grids are being worked on right now, and it's so that when the Tesla energy is integrated, it doesn't cause a surge and like we're showing Carrie a light bulb blown or like a fuse blown. They're making sure that that transition will not blow the grids and will actually integrate within the grids.
Well, that's helpful to know. So thank you. Okay, good. So in a summary, we're going to have a small power outage, and then going to have some disclosures, and then the shift will happen after that.
Yes, because the power outages will actually allow people to kind of go home, get comfy, kind of settle into the silence, have some nice family time, and you're all together in that nice environment of like the space of the energy. And then the disclosure so that everyone's prepared. If we did disclosure, then power out, it would just be chaos.
Yes, I could imagine that. So thank you. That is really it's really intriguing how it's all going to unfold. And in terms of different timeline variants from this point, what can you tell me?
Well, there's always possibility for a change in timelines for the whole. However, if we're showing Carrie a whiteboard, like we've done the math, we've worked it out. We feel like we're still in conversations about some of the smaller details, but we feel like this is, and you guys have had the conversation about this before, we've gone through actually forward in time and actually seen it be successful. And so we rewound it back, slowed it down. So now you guys can consciously experience it.
Well, that sounds a bit fancy. Well, that's great. So, and has that happened for, so how does it happen? Is it a little bit of consciousness experience that they're successful, and then you somehow make everyone jump onto that timeline to experience that too?
So we can play with time and we can speed it up, slow it down, and reverse it. So you have actually, if you want to think it on that level, you've actually experienced this timeline already. And then we brought you back here and slowed it down. It would be just like a VCR tape or like the old tapes with the ribbon in it. You could fast forward it, rewind it. That's kind of what we can do with time. And you have already experienced it. That's way it won't be even as shocking to you, because on some level you guys have already experienced the way this timeline plays out. And so it'll bring you the intuition and the knowing as to what works and what choices to make. And that's why connecting with your higher selves is so important, and staying open is so that you can be open and not kind of like, not like we're showing Carrie, like the Mandela effect, not butterfly effect it, where it can change the outcome.
So, if I've already experienced this, why did I want to come back to re-experience it?
You didn't want to come back. That is a tool we use to see the outcome. Because if that outcome didn't work, we'd have to shift timelines, and we'd have to play out a different timeline.
Didn't we just shift timelines?
Right, to this timeline, which is going to play out the way it is. But if it's not about you wanting it, it's about us playing the timeline that is going to have success. The old timeline was not going to have success.
Oh, tell me why it wasn't going to have success, the old one.
There were too many unawakened ones that they were in shock, and they actually were going to stay behind, and it did not fulfill their contract.
Right. So then, can I ask now? Is the experience to stay on old Earth, is that still going to happen? Is there going to still be a shift, and then what we termed as old Earth, is that still going to be an experience?
It is, but it will not be as long. It will not be the predicted 2 to 3 years. It will be, we're seeing it from like, we're showing Carrie 9 months to a year.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, the whole old Earth experience did sound like it was going to be quite a short one anyway, so that kind of makes all sense with that. Okay, and so we trust that those who need to stay here and experience the old Earth, is it's still purposeful for all the reasons that we know, and we can accept their life contracts for that.
Yes, yes, it's important to accept. People make these choices, it's free will of what their contracts will be. And as much as you want to tap into the lower emotions of loss, or play that storyline in your head, that is not helping them and empowering them to their choices.
Got it. Yeah. And so now with this new timeline, which is successful, um, are we? I feel like then we must be getting one more step closer to the actual experience of the shift, since it's all needing to unfold out as it already has been predetermined to do.
Yes, uh, yes, it is not tomorrow. It is unfolding as it should. And we are showing Carrie like within 1 to 2 months.
And so, in terms of that number, or that sort of time frame, it's still determined on people actually still doing the inner work and awakening and raising their vibration. Is that correct?
Yes, yes. And if the light workers are the ones that are holding people back, they're the leaders. They're the leaders, and they're the ones that are supposed to be leading humanity. And it is the light workers that are determining that number, and that number is varying minute to minute, hour to hour, as far as length of time, because time doesn't matter to us. It's that doesn't it's experience to experience. We don't really resonate in time. And so um, the light workers need to, if they feel like they're bracing against it, or they're bracing against and it's not really in a flow, then they really need to go in and do inner work.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, just to give the analogy, we have to tidy our rooms and we have to do our inner work. And tidying our rooms is tidying up our emotional traumas that we're still holding on to and baggage. So once we've done that work, then we get to have, I don't know, dessert, playtime, whatever analogy. Am I correct?
Yes, yes. And we do not tap into lower frequencies of feeling insulted or hurt in that manner, but we feel like we've given this information as a gift. And we've asked no payment. We've asked no, that is not how we work. All that we've asked is that you love yourself and do the work and honor the contract of being a light worker here during these times. And if there are people that are not wanting to do that, they're disrespecting themselves. And to a degree, we are being disrespected because this is a gift we are giving and we do it freely, lovingly. And we only want to assist in the ascension. We have other planets we can go to. We have other things we can do. We have other worlds we can go to and be free and not have to worry about what is going on. But it is because of the true love that we have for all and for humanity here on earth and the light workers here on earth experiencing this that makes us want to be here because we are more powerful by empowering and honoring, not to say the weakest player, but that's how it would be preserved, like that's how it would be perceived on earth. We want to step up and help in the evolution. And so we would just say, if you're going to ask these questions and going to seek these answers, please respect the information that it's from love and that we only want to see you grow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you all deserve that respect. And anyone who's listening to these sessions and have not applied the information and have not taken their own responsibility to do their inner work, with much love, you're part of the problem. And we all want to be part of the solution. And we don't want to put too much pressure on you, but this should be a priority.
Yes. And if you want to speed up time of the transition to New Earth, do your inner work. If you want to see it play out 1 to 2 years, don't do your inner work.
But you ultimately are going to be holding yourself back and not others. Is that correct?
To a degree, but the light workers are really the ones that we need the connections with at a pure divine connection. So the humanity and the ones not the that are not awake right now are not what's holding back. It's not those ones. It's the ones that know the information, that seek the information, receive the information, that do nothing with it, that are holding it back.
Yeah, there's a definite strong resistance and stubbornness there. So, what would they need at this point if they're still refusing to acknowledge that they have any inner work? What more could we give them to be able to inspire them to do that?
Well, they need to go in within. That is fundamental. And the other light workers that are connected with the light workers that are having, uh, you know, uh, stuck in cycles, we'll say, it is important that we hold each other accountable. When you are part of a team and you have teamwork, it is very natural in any other sport or team situation that you have on earth that it is about the successful teams are the ones that hold each other accountable. The successful ones are the ones that are in unity. And we would encourage the other light workers who have done their inner work and can see this going on to step up and to hold them accountable to their contracts and what they are here to do.
But part of the problem with humanity is that we don't want to hold people accountable. We want to just be ostriches and just accept bad behavior from people who are deceitful and controlling and manipulative because that's what we've been trained as humans to accept and just look the other way from.
Yes, but that is the dismantling of old beliefs. We are giving this information right now to give the tools that are needed to move forward. And so the old beliefs there are so many old beliefs that have shed from all light workers and humanity, especially over this past 1 to 2 years of what is really going on. And the belief that we are not here to support is like, I'm holding you up. Well, how does that help you when it's taking from you and it's taking your energy to hold that person up? How about I tell you that you have legs to stand on and I empower you to put your feet on the ground?
But some people want to be carried to the shift, and they don't want to they don't want to empower themselves and stand up for themselves and walk towards the shift themselves. They want a cleaner to come and clean their house and do all of that inner work for them.
We are not in those times. We had hoped that Earth would be a vacation place, that you could do that and you could levitate to the one place to the other and you didn't have to do any work yourself. But however, we are in the situation we are in, and that's why you guys are all here. And so you guys must march forward with the purpose, march forward with the power, march forward with your team behind you. And you guys are carrying humanity in a way. But humanity has no idea. They don't even know that they need to be carried. The light worker's job is so important.
Yes, that's the definition and the purpose and the mission of being a light worker. So, well, thank you. And so, what can we say to acknowledge all of those amazing true light workers who are in stepping into their empowerment, and that they are part of the solution, and that they are doing what is required? They've gone within. I mean, what can we say to them to make them feel really proud of themselves for all that they have done for themselves and humanity?
Well, we would personally like to thank them from our position where we are at. You are making, you are helping us out in making our jobs, using less resources and, not having to provide for you guys in the same way, um, as others. And we are so proud of you, and we love you guys so much. We love you all. But we know 100% that you guys are going to look back at this and you are going to know that you really, really, in those moments where defeat or triumph were both at your grasp, you chose triumph every time. And that is going to really let you start that much ahead going to New Earth or wherever you choose to go. You're going to be that much ahead of the game moving forward. And we thank you, and we know that it's hard. We know you didn't know where you that veil that was on, and it's been so confusing. But you listen to your heart. You never let it stop beating that song of moving forward and doing the right thing and always wanting more and better. And we just are so grateful and proud of you.
Well, thank you on behalf of all who have helped to be of service. And we cannot even fathom the challenges that you must have being the higher dimensional beings, how hard it is to see us just be almost like idiots with our responses and approaches to things. So, thank you for always loving us and supporting us and giving us the tools of wisdom, because this is a gift, and the lessons that you've been providing for us have been so empowering for many. So, thank you for all that you do.
Yes, and we just sent Carrie a huge gust of wind because we want people to feel like it's the wind lifting them up, in and embrace that wind and put your wings out and fly, step into your power and fly and let that wind just carry you. And Keep the acknowledgement and the honor and the gratitude. And we just want to see you all lifted to that higher place.
Yeah, absolutely. Even the tough love and all the love is always for our embedment. So anyone that's got a trigger is triggered by your love. There's some big inner work there.
Yes, yes. When there's triggers, they need to just ask why.
Mm, thank you.
Instead of projecting out, go within, ask why.
Yeah, easy. Good, good, good. Is there any private information that you would like, or messages that you would like to give Carrie at this time?
No, she's connecting with us all the time. We're giving her information all the time, and we want to just reassure her that she doesn't need this platform to get that information, and that just to stay connected with us.
Yeah, and she knows that, but she's doing these sessions out of service to help others to be able to grow. So, we love that for her because she is so open and sharing. I know one question that she did have that she was a bit, well, it wasn't a question, but there was a sadness, thinking that her connection with Paige was going to be delayed. Can we help her with that, please?
Yeah, she was disappointed in everyone's selfish reactions, what she perceived as selfish for the new earth, and kind of the pity parties that everyone kind of had in a way, because she knows she has so much and is bountiful here. However, her heart just sank a little bit because she's delayed in seeing her daughter, and she's still in the we're sending her the frequency of Paige right now to remind her that like she can connect with her still here, and that that anytime she just wants to connect with Paige's frequency, that we will send that to her, and that is no worry. So she can still connect with her daughter here while she's got this time here, and that does bring her a lot of relief because um, she was holding back those tears a little bit.
Yeah, it's understandable. Well, thank you so much for just giving her that feeling today. I know she does need that release, and I think that everything she's feeling is completely understandable. And it's good to be reminded that um, this is why we must take our inner work responsibilities seriously, and why we must be considerate of everyone.
Yes, and she understands that it's hard, and she's been in other people's shoes at times and stuck. And the only reason she understands it is because she's experienced it herself, and that she had tough love that she applied to herself and was applied from the external that helped her get to where she was. And you have to be tough with yourself to not give in to just surrendering. And so, in a way, that her love for others is trying to balance that supportive with the tough love, so that we can all move forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, is it correct to say that Carrie wanted to experience all of the challenges that 3D has to offer to be able to master it for this lifetime, being her very first lifetime here on this planet?
Yes, yes. I mean, this was all signed up for. And now that she's moved through it pretty through a lot of the lessons, especially that childhood trauma, like she is really feeling that like freeness on earth. And so the time of the shift, the only impatience she has is to see Paige.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. And that's fully understandable. So it's kind of silly for people to still get stuck on some issues that no longer serve them when, the time is now to really be serious about doing this inner work.
Yes, and we know you guys can do it, and just step into your power. We can't say it enough. And I mean, we want to give, we want to give firm messages now, and telling everyone it's okay, and kissing their boo-boos is no longer, there's no longer, that's not the space for this any longer. It is about, you guys are all crying out, even and through your hearts, through your energies, wanting more. We can hear it. You guys might not even hear it, but the energy and the vibration that's coming to us, we hear your desires and the desperation, and you've had the power all along. We will support you through it, of course, but we're not going to do it for you.
Yeah, and no one can do it for anyone. This is the whole thing. It's that individual work. There is no excuses for delays any longer.
No, this is what you want, is to be pushed forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. And on a super, super, super private note, was it Laurie Ladd that sent Carrie negative energy?
She's getting an aha moment right now. Yes.
So did she listen to that session or parts of that session?
She was told she had like an army of followers all reporting information, and she was told about it. And then she did listen to it, but she got so angry she couldn't listen to the whole thing. And so she didn't actually hear the higher message of supporting her.
So she missed the opportunity for growth.
Yes.
So how's that going for her then?
She's very she's very angry, and she's kind of taken a step back from the information she's giving to her followers. Like, it's very repetitive information right now.
Is it going to trigger her to be able to go within and ask questions?
Yes, but that's why she's not channeling and she's just giving stuff off of memory, is because she doesn't want to channel, because she doesn't want to connect in.
Is she concerned she's going to get told off?
She she knows. She knows what she's been avoiding. It's not about being told off, it's about facing what she's avoiding.
And so what's going to happen next for her?
She she is in works with her higher self, and they are trying to push her forward. However, she will not expand. She's regressing. She's regressing because she's not channeling. So she's going to regress in her information, and it will be ego, like ego talking instead of any kind of connection with higher self. And it will just be repetitiveness. And when some of this information comes out more and more, she is going to lose followers because they are more enlightened. They will understand more, and that she no longer has an energy connection with them. And like they don't resonate at her frequency anymore. So her followers are actually going to outgrow her.
Has that been happening all along?
Not as powerful. Like there are some people that have used her as a stepping stone, but this is more of like she's downward spiraling.
Can we send her again more love? And what does disturb me a bit is that she constantly has been sending negative energy our way for quite some time, even though we keep sending love back and seriously meaning it. So, what next thing can we do to help her? Because we want her to be helped if she is open to it.
You can just send the love and healing to her, and we can send the this frequency of thought to some of her listeners or people that are close in her life, that maybe they can approach her with this some information outside perspective. So we're going to send that so that they almost like pops in their head, like maybe I should just worry about like things I'm feeling. And we're going to send those little that little army to help, because she can easily dismiss what is being said in the sessions and what you are saying or anyone channeling saying. But her followers are what help fill her up. And so she will actually that she'll take the information from them and actually listen to it. And we are going to actually put a bubble around her that contains her negativity. She can no longer send that this way.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it because none of the sessions have ego in it from my perspective that we provide on this channel. So, apart from the questionnaire, so it is not so light workerish of her behavior and demeanor to not consider and be open to bigger information that we have been providing for over a year now.
Yes, she doesn't see it that way though. It's just competition.
But it's we're all trying to share the truth and help humanity. There should not be seen as a competition. It should be the same team. We're working together for humanity.
Yes, but that's why she receives the level of information she does, and that you receive a higher level of information.
Okay, well, it'll be interesting to have a conversation with her on the new earth.
Yes. She's not going. She's staying behind.
So wasn't it part of her life contract to go to the new earth?
She is the downward spiral. She does not believe it so much to a core, where she'd rather stay behind and show the ones that are left behind that she was right, and then transition to new earth with the next round of transitions, versus shifting to new earth and having to deal with dismantling the belief that she doesn't want to believe that she was wrong.
Wow, okay. Well, that's definitely one approach to get to New Earth. So, when she eventually gets to the New Earth, will her and I be having a firm discussion of love?
Yes, and you will get to that place of neutral with one another. She'll come with that extra time and extra thought, so that your gifts and talents can be helped, a service to the beings on New Earth.
Well, that's
And
good.
you guys will look back and laugh at it. Yeah, you will look back and laugh at this time.
Well, I'm laughing now, but I just feel sorry for her and the people that have been misguided by her. But I also understand that that is their free will, their choices, and their experiences here on the 3D.
Yes.
Fancy. Okay, wonderful. Sorry. Um, I'm glad she's finally getting one step towards doing her inner work and reflecting. So, is there any opportunity that she will awaken before the shift, or is she just that determined now?
Right now, that is where she is at, but depending on how long the timeline plays out to get there, from lesson to lesson, will give her opportunity to maybe change that contract.
Right. Any chance that she could start tapping in, getting the bigger information, and be able to be big enough to be able to start telling and sharing that information to her followers? Can she accept that she has grown and that she's getting new information?
She can, however, right now she's really just putting up a wall, but the information is being sent to her. So if she were to let down that wall, she will be an open receiver to the information. And so it will be her choice whether that wall stays up or goes down. But the information is being sent to her.
And so, what is the motivation to keep that wall up?
It's control. She just doesn't want to be wrong.
It's still the control with her.
Yes, that is her one last lesson here on earth.
When was she out of control in her lifetime?
Um, in her mid-adult years, we're showing Carrie that there was some trauma to her as a child, and she lost control with uh, showing Carrie like drug usage, and with uh, her body being very sexually active with men. So she didn't have control during that time.
Okay, so can we energetically go in there and um, help smooth and heal and love those times, knowing that she can grow from this and she is in control of her life now, but she doesn't need to be in full control of things. She can relax and know she is going to have safe choices moving forward.
Yes, we're going to send that to there and send the empowerment, the love and empowerment in those, and an acknowledgement that what had happened to her was not okay.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, well, I mean, we do have deep compassion for her because we want her to be able to do her full life mission and purpose and be the big influencer that she is born to do. but we also want her to be fully responsible for the information and be able to give your information freely and truly to humanity and not be controlling and limiting the information that she is getting.
Yes.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Jazz hands all the way.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Okay, is there any final messages that you would like us to know?
No, we're just giving Carrie the imagery of a bright sunrise, that it's always darkest before dawn. So just walk forward with a purpose, and it's going to be light before you know it.
Party, party, party. Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate everything that you've provided for us today. And we do honor you and we do respect you and we do listen and we do apply the information that you give us.
You're very welcome. It's our pleasure, and we love you.